Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be pretty short. It's about a topic that I think is kind of important right now that I haven't really addressed, so this is just going to be a really fast talking head video. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. I wanted to talk about the 7900 XTX and the idea that it has been a disappointing launch. To start off, I'm probably going to toss some graphics up on the screen as I talk about some of the benchmarks done from a lot of the larger channels like Hardware Unboxed and Gamers Nexus. One thing I do want to point out right away is the 7900 XTX trades blows with the 4080 in almost every game, and it actually does pretty frequently beat it as well. The main reason why I bring that up is that I think the 7900 XTX was never set up to compete with the 4090. I think a lot of people wanted it to be a 4090 competitor, and maybe that's where a lot of the disappointment is coming from. But in reality, I think all of the marketing and everything else was kind of geared towards it being a competitor with the 4080. I don't think AMD was necessarily being deceiving and making it seem like it was going to be battling the 4090. The only thing I will say that was pretty disappointing was when they were showing their own numbers during their press conference. It did seem like the 7900 XTX was going to be like what did they say? Up to 1.7 times faster than the 6950 XT. And that just kind of didn't happen. I always take those numbers with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm pretty sure even NVIDIA's own graphs for the 4090 were a little off on launch as well. I always assume if they're saying it's 1.7 times, you might as well like bump it down a couple pegs, and that's probably more accurate to what you're actually going to be getting. I think another part of it is the pricing. So it being a $1,000 product kind of doesn't really feel all that great. I think a lot of people were hoping it's going to be $1,000 and beat the 4080. If you were paying attention to a lot of the coverage up to the release of the 7900 XTX, it did seem like it was just going to be about the same performance. I know not everybody's sitting there like watching and reading every article out there about, you know, the upcoming releases and stuff. So a lot of people just saw the AMD announcement and just took that as it was and just waited for the launch. So I do understand why that is disappointing, but I want to go over maybe why it isn't the biggest disappointment. For me, the 7900 XTX is $200 less than the 4080, and it's getting almost the same performance. The only thing it takes a hit in is ray tracing. So I'm going to pull up some more graphs here, and I think Hardware Unboxed has probably the best version of this graph. There's a lot of cost per frame graphs that don't show current pricing. I know that pricing always fluctuates, so sometimes it's just more consistent to just have the MSRPs on there, but I do appreciate when somebody like Hardware Unboxed actually goes out and looks at all the current pricing and really shows, compared to the competition on launch, what the price to performance is compared to even, you know, some of the older cards. And the 7900 XTX actually is pretty good. I mean, when you look at the graphs, the 4080 looks absolutely terrible, and the 7900 XTX looks okay. Now, that doesn't necessarily excuse it. It should have been fantastic. I think that's what people wanted, because in previous generations, that's more of what you experienced, is you would get like double the performance, but it costed the same as the MSRP from, you know, last gen, and that's just not really what we're getting right now. I think the biggest disappointment about the 7900 XTX for me personally is that AMD had a pretty golden opportunity to take market share, in my opinion, from NVIDIA, because a lot of people are upset at them for their business practices. The 4080 hasn't been a gigantic success, even though they've been selling out of cards. I mean, if you look at it, almost all the cards that are selling out are scalpers, and the cards that aren't selling out are sitting on shelves in places like Micro Center. The only places where it's totally sold out is all the online retailers, where it's a lot easier to scalp, let's be honest. So the 4080 is not popular. The 7900 XTX has been like permanently selling out. And I think the 7900 XTX selling as well as it has just shows how much the consumer is ready for some proper competition. And I really just don't feel like AMD punched Nvidia hard enough in the gut. And I just feel like they kind of just did the same thing that they do every generation, where they're like, well, we're not quite as good as AMD, but we're going to release a card at similar performance for 100, 200 bucks less. And they just did that again here. When I think if they would have just bumped it down even another $100, like a $900, 7900 XTX would have been an incredible deal. Actually, I shouldn't say incredible. It just would have been a good deal. It would have been so much better, and it would have been like a breath of fresh air compared to some of the pricing that we've been getting lately. So for me, it's not necessarily like the performance that was the biggest disappointment to me, because I kind of, where it landed was where I was expecting it to land. I was really not surprised with where the performance was at. I just think that it's disappointing that they didn't lower the price a little bit more and get more aggressive. It almost just feels like AMD is seemingly kind of complacent, just playing second fiddle to Nvidia for what percentage of the market they have. I mean, what do they have, like 5% of the market? So I don't know. I kind of hope that, maybe instead of people getting the AMD flagships, you battle Nvidia by buying the discounted AMD cards like the 6800 XT, which are fantastic value right now. I've been using my one in my current rig. I just uploaded a video on it, a few days ago of some benchmarks and stuff, and I am super happy with that card. So I think a lot of people were hoping to battle Nvidia with their wallets and go with the AMD flagship, but honestly, I'm going to tell you guys to just keep holding off and buy an older kind of flagship like the 6800. I mean, even the 6900 XT has been having some pretty good pricing. Get one of those cards and sit on it for a little bit, because I have a feeling that the prices are going to change. Almost any bigger tech YouTuber out there than me is talking about how they can just smell price drops coming. So I have a feeling in January we're going to see some prices go down. Maybe AMD drops their prices really aggressively. Maybe this $1,000 price mark is just for the holidays, when they can get a lot of sales on launch and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, kind of a quick video today, guys. I hope it didn't sound too rambly. I kind of just shot this one off. I do have a 7900 XTX coming in that I'm gonna actually do some benchmarks and review on myself. So I'll actually get some hands-on experience with it, and I can't wait to share my findings with you guys and let you know how I feel using it, because I'm probably gonna put one in my personal rig for a while and just get a good feel for it, get a good feel for the drivers, play some games on it, ray trace games, 4K, 1080p, all that stuff. I'm going to try to use it as my daily driver for a little bit and then give an update, a few weeks down the road. So thanks for watching today. Like I said, I hope it's not too rambly. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you didn't, I don't know, give it a dislike, I guess, if you want. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about the 7900 XTX launch. I know that this video is coming out a little bit late, but I was kind of waiting until I got my hands on a 7900 XTX myself, and I should have it arriving today. So this is kind of just like my mindset before I actually get to play on it, So maybe I'm going to feel differently once I actually get some hands-on experience, but that's just my feelings based off of all the reviews I've seen. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. We finally crested 100. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything special. I mean, I guess the 7900 XTX video that I'm going to be coming out with is going to be kind of special. So maybe the 7900 XTX is more of a 100 subscriber special. But I just really want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel and subscribing. Honestly, hitting 100 isn't the biggest milestone ever, but to me it is. I never really thought that within a few months of making content that I would be getting any kind of traction. So even getting 100 is really it just makes me feel really awesome about the amount of effort I've been putting in. yeah, so honestly, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for subscribing and continuing to support me and the videos I'm putting out, even though I'm pretty fresh. And, you know, I feel like I just keep getting better with this every day as I keep coming out with stuff. So anyways, yeah, quick thank yous out of the way. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you all in another video.